Whoa, why is there a bulldog in the studio?
Oh, that's just Uga, the Georgia Bulldog. The Nissan Heisman House is back and chock full of Heisman winners and mascots. Check out NissanHeismanHouse.com and enter for a chance to win a 2-night trip with up to 3 guests to the College Football Playoffs championship game in Tampa. The winner's also going to receive a meet and greet with a former Heisman winner.
Oh, great. The Oregon Ducks changing the water bottle.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Must be 18 or older and legal U.S. resident. Ends December 3rd, 2016.
Hey, football fans, this is Mel Kiper Jr. On the latest First Draft podcast, Todd McShay and I break down the top NFL rookies at the midway point of the season and also examine some juniors who could have a major impact on the big boards come springtime.
Pardon the interruption, but I'm Michael Bontoni. A new study says a beer a day could reduce heart disease. Would you drink that beer a day?
I'm Tony Kornheiser, before or after the bottle of wine.
Okay, I don't know that the heart is going to need beer and wine one after another.
I think you can do that. Would I drink a beer a day? Yeah, probably.
You
sure.
would?
Yeah.
I've never seen you have much beer. In 35 years of knowing you,
I'm not.
I say you have a couple of beers.
I'm not a big beer drinker.
But you're a red wine
You know what?
guy.
Only certain times. Sometimes after playing golf, and oddly enough, with Chinese food. I like beer with Chinese food. That's it.
Who knew?
Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Cowboys roll, the Packers get smoked, and we have got chaos in college football. But we begin today with by far the best Sunday of the NFL season so far, and the sure cure for low ratings, close games. One of the closest was Seattle beating New England on a last-minute goal line stand and reestablishing themselves as a powerful contender in the NFC. The Seahawks stopped the Patriots 4 straight plays inside the 2-yard line. Wilbon, did you have a problem with the 4th down pass call to Gronkowski?
No, not at all, Tony. I mean, why would you throw it to your best player? Maybe if I have a problem with it, it's not going to it earlier, like on 2nd down or 3rd down or 1st down.
You hate the fade. You are on record as saying you hate the fade.
I hate the fade, but that wasn't a fade. What you've got is a one-on-one matchup with a much bigger, stronger guy. Gronkowski may be the most talented tight end in the history of the game. You want to go to him. But the Brady sneak has also worked in time. A lot.
For 15 years.
Yeah.
For 15 years.
So if you were going to ask me what my sort of repertoire of plays would be, what my package of plays would be,
right,
it better include at least one Brady sneak and at least one pass to Gronkowski.
Here's what I wouldn't have done. I wouldn't have let Darrell Bevel make a call on 2nd down. I wouldn't have let that happen under any conditions. LeGarrette Blount had scored. He's the closest thing they've got, the Patriots have, to Marshawn Lynch.
Okay. And Blount had a try.
He had 3 touchdowns on the ground earlier in the day. I think I would have given him one more try. Like you, I might have tried to pass to Gronkowski a little bit earlier in the sequence. But I'm okay with it on the last play. Here's what I think was the right call. Both he and Chancellor fouled each other 25 times in a second and a half. No call.
No call.
No call.
That's right.
I'm absolutely
you can't have a call
fine
there.
with that. Fine
Tony,
with that.
this may just be a case of the Patriots coming up with plays that we all also would have called as we sit here and second guess on Monday, and it didn't work. Seattle's defense
really
was
good.
Terrific. Just like in another game down around the goal line with the teams flipped, Seattle called a play. Pete Carroll's guys called a play.
Yeah,
Darrell Bevel,
second
that
down.
they thought was fine,
Malcolm
and
Butler,
it didn't work because the other
Super
guys
Bowl.
got a great defense in each situation. So I got no problem with the plays they called.
I will say this. I want to get to a couple of ratings here, but I think this particular game helps Seattle more than it hurts New England. I think New England is going to be fine, but it's good for Seattle, good for Russell Wilson, who looked really
absolutely.
good.
His legs are back.
That game had a 14 rating. That was the highest Sunday night game since week 1. The Sunday afternoon game that we're going to talk about in a second, Dallas and Pittsburgh, highest rating of the year.
Okay.
This is what you need.
Is like what?
Well, I'm just saying, well, one of the things, when you talk about bad ratings, there's a lot of factors, but one of the factors is bad games. These were good games.
I thought you were recommending, investing in Nielsen stock. I wasn't sure.
No. Good games.
Cowboys, Steelers, it was just as dramatic, Tony. The game featured 7 lead changes, including 3 in the last 2 minutes. How about the final 42 seconds, beginning with Ben Roethlisberger's fake spike touchdown pass to Antonio Brown, and, of course, Ezekiel Elliott's 32-yard touchdown bolt up the middle of the field, untouched, with 9 seconds left. I don't think I've ever seen that.
No, unbelievable.
The Cowboys are now 8-1, having won 8 straight. Tone, you got the boys on top of your NFC power ratings?
I might have if Seattle hadn't gone to New England and won that game, because I think that
so you're going to go Seattle, Dallas.
I got them pretty much together. Yeah, I mean, but I will say this, and I did some research before this show to find this out. I'm looking at Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, and I'm wondering to myself, have there ever been two better rookies together? Because right now they look like Pro Bowl guys and MVP candidates.
Go back to Butkus Sayers? Can I do that?
Butkus Sayers never played in the playoffs, did they?
Single playoff game.
1967, right?
Okay.
You had Mean Joe Green and L.C. Greenwood. They did pretty well. 1979, you had Joe Montana and Dwight Clark. Very impactful for a long period of time. How about 1974 with the same Stillers? Swan, Stallworth, Webster, and Lambert.
That's check, Canton.
Good. That's pretty good.
That's okay. So that wipes it out.
By the way, I don't know that I've ever seen a finish like this. Touchdown, quite like that.
But Tony, seriously, think about this. You've watched all the great running backs in the history of the league since Jim Brown. Okay?
Yeah.
I'll give you a pass on Red Grange.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay?
High school together, but not in the pros.
You've seen.
Yeah.
Up the middle of the field like that to win the game? I've never seen that.
They've got, the one thing that has been said about the Cowboys for a long time is they have a great offensive line. So that's what they've got. When you ask me how they compare with other teams, is their defense good enough? I don't know. I just don't. But certainly Prescott and Elliott have been incredibly impressive.
So calm.
Can I ask you this on the fake spike?
Yeah.
The fake spike,
Dan
which
Marino,
is
1994.
Morally, how do you feel about that?
Fine. It's been done now. People have done it. Aaron Rodgers has done it long after Marino
because you
made it famous.
You saw Ben gave him the sign. Gave him with the right hand, gave Brown the sign.
What do these people practice and stay at the compound all day for? And
so
by the way,
it doesn't.
No.
You don't think it's shady?
Everybody knows that Roethlisberger, a savvy veteran quarterback, can stand up and throw it.
I didn't think it was possible for Dallas to come back. I thought it was over.
Seahawks, Cowboys.
Yeah.
That's the way I got it right now.
Okay, you got them first. Okay.
The Cowboys have to overtake them.
Marcus Mariota threw 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions as the Tennessee Titans destroyed Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers 47-25. Green Bay has now given up 30 or more points in 4 of their last 5 games for the first time since 1953. Mariota now has 17 touchdowns and only 3 picks in his last 6 games, where the Titans, and I didn't know this, were 4-2. Wilbon, does this say more about the weakness of the Packers or the sudden strength of the Titans?
Let's not get carried away with the Titans. They lost last week. Okay, they lost last week.
Right.
Not last month. Last week.
4-2 in their last 6.
They lost last week. So let's not make the Titans seriously. Okay, I don't have to remember the Titans. Not yet.
I saw what you did there.
This is about the Green Bay Packers getting their faces rubbed in it. Don't think I'm not a little happy about this. As my team stinks to high heaven.
Your team
I want
stinks.
the Packers to be miserable, and they are. Because this is not a slow start. This is not time to RELAX.
No, you're right.
And but by the way, we're not pinning all this on the quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, who seems to be the pinata for some reason.
Did Rodgers give up 47?
47.
No,
I watched this yesterday, Tony. This is staggering to watch the Packers fail like this. And you know when you have a team that has great expectations and some recent history of success, there's going to be the blame game played, and you know where it's going. It's going to go to the coach.
Yes, it will go to the coach. I think I said this last week about how they don't run enough, and I hope these statistics are correct, that they only ran 13 times yesterday.
He threw it again like 50
times.
What is this?
Times. You can't win that way, and Aaron Rodgers is great.
He is.
You can't win that way. I want to go to Mariota for a second in this regard. I'm pretty sure that Winston was drafted 1 for Tampa Bay and Mariota 2, and now they are in their 2nd year. It took Cam Newton 3 or 4 years. It looks like Derek Carr's in his 3rd year, something like that, or 4th.
3rd year.
So I think that both Winston, who looks very good, and Mariota are a year away or so. But Mariota looks great right now.
They both look good.
Tennessee is, you don't even regard them on any level.
You know what?
And maybe you're wrong.
They got to do more than win one in a row before you start getting the benefit of the doubt from this season.
So you don't think that they're like approaching the launch pad right now?
They could be.
That's all I'm
suggesting. But the bigger story right now is the Green Bay Packers.
Sure.
Okay? Because, Tony, they're behind Detroit and Minnesota. And the only
by the way, Minnesota stinks.
Okay,
they stink, too. They're cratering.
There's a team in that division that stinks.
Well, yours is the worst team.
It's not there.
Yeah.
2 years ago, the NFL decided the formality of the extra point was a bore and moved the kick back to 33 yards. Well, one play with 90 seconds left in the game between the Broncos and Saints must have made the policymakers smile. Denver's Justin Simmons jumped over the Saints center, blocked the PAT, and Will Parks, he wasn't out. Ran it back 84 yards for the 2-point conversion and won the game for Denver. So this play couldn't have happened until now with this rule change. Do you like an NFL game ending like this?
It is the coolest ending I have ever seen on an NFL game. Now, I'm informed by the kick six with Alabama and Auburn a couple of years ago, which is the greatest ending I've ever seen. But in this particular circumstance, New Orleans has tied the game. They're going to win the game. The worst thing that I thought could happen to them is they miss the kick, so they're tied. They continue to be tied. They lose.
Be alert.
They lose. You watch it, and your eyes are wide open. You're thinking, what is going on here? 2 points going the other way. A game they could not lose. They lose in that moment. It's a spectacular way to end the game.
Okay, are you conflicted at all about the way the play unfolds? Where you've got defensive players holding down the center so he can't get up to block the guy that is coming over the line. Speaking of launch.
Is that legal?
Apparently it is.
Is that legal?
It certainly wasn't. It is legal right now.
As long as the defensive people don't step on him, right?
You can't do that.
You cannot.
That's against the
rules. You can't
rules.
hold his helmet
That's
down
a
and go over him.
Apparently you can.
So,
you can hold the center's helmet down. Apparently.
Look, I like the rule.
Block him down.
I like the rule of moving the kick back, and I think they should move it even
There's
further
suspense
back.
now.
I like that. But I will say this: if you're worried about it on offense, move your kicker back 2 yards. Move your kicker back 3 yards.
That wouldn't help that play.
What's
That
the
wouldn't help
difference?
that play.
It won't hurt the
Flying
kicker.
through.
The only thing you have to see is can your snapper do it? Can your snapper handle it? Why wouldn't you do it?
Tony, that may be something that some teams go to as they have endless special teams considerations, and that's fine.
Or when a guy goes over the top, throw a guy in who knocks him right in the chest and knocks
he's
him
going to
backwards.
be in the way of the kicker, too. Tony, I'm sort of conflicted about this play.
But you're not about a fake spike.
No, I'm okay with the fake
So you have
spike.
situational ethics. You and Bobby Bowden, situational ethics.
And you. I'll just throw that in there.
I sort of like this play. I would move him back.
The extra point, you should have a time where you can go to the bathroom or go and get some Gatorade from your fridge. You shouldn't have to be on red alert all the time because a special teams
Denver
play
needed
may
this
change
to keep up with Kansas City, to keep up with Oakland.
Great play.
Some of us looked into the future on Friday afternoon and said none of the top 4 college teams would lose.
Yeah.
Shame on you, Will.
I wasn't here. I was on the golf
course.
course.
Not 1, not 2, but 3 of them lost. Clemson, Michigan, Washington. That's got to shake up the top 4. So, Wilbon, right now, what's your top 4? And you're so happy that Michigan lost.
Well, you're
delirious.
I am. Coach Cat, you see Harbaugh? He's trying to look like Bo Schembechler.
Did he play for him?
He's trying to look. Yes, he did.
Well, is it,
wait.
Is
I'm
it an
not
homage? Is it
criticizing
bad?
I'm just saying he's doing it, and it's sort of startling to see him sit there as a child of the Midwest who's used to seeing Bo in the whistle and the M cap.
Yeah.
That's just sort of startling to me. 1 is Alabama. We didn't even discuss that. 2, and now is Ohio State because they've won a couple of games since losing.
Yes.
3 is
they had a tough one on Saturday, Ohio State. That was a tough win over Maryland, 62-3.
Everybody's got a homecoming opponent in their division, in their conference.
Right.
3 is Louisville for me.
For you.
And so 4, you now have a mix. You have this grab bag of Michigan, Clemson, Washington. You can't go down to West Virginia, who hadn't beaten anybody, even though they got 1 loss.
1 loss.
Wisconsin's got 2 losses. I'm staying away from that. Tony, I'm going to say this. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Michigan.
Michigan. Even though you hate
Michigan,
and you're happy when they lose.
I'm happy when
they have ill fortune.
Yes, this week I was thrilled.
So
by the way, the Iowa loss is a bad loss.
Right.
I just watched
because
my
Northwestern
team
beat them.
Scored 38 on Iowa, in Iowa, at Iowa, and you mean Michigan? That's a bad loss for Michigan.
It's a bad loss.
Okay.
So I talked to Pat Forty of Yahoo this morning on the podcast. And I thought, like you thought, that Louisville would certainly jump up. In fact,
they're not going to jump.
The point that I made about Louisville was that if you got a television show, these last 4 games are TV shows. You want the guy who's probably going to win the Heisman because he's a big draw.
Electrifying to watch. The Allen Iverson of college football.
Pat Forty said to me that Clemson will not be moved under Louisville.
Right. They won't be.
They will stay. He thinks Clemson will be
beat them early
because
in
of
the
strength of schedule.
Yep.
Overall strength of schedule.
Yeah.
He thinks Michigan will be 4.
Yeah.
I think Louisville should go to 3.
So we
I
agree.
think Louisville should go to 3.
It's not going to happen, Tony. You talk about
Just
agendas
don't give me
elections.
Oklahoma in the Final 4. Don't give me the Big 12. Don't give me that.
What do you think
give me
they'll
the
be
Pac-10 winner
5
or something
or 6?
like that.
What do you think they'll be?
No, there's a lot of 2-loss teams.
But they're going to drop Washington below Oklahoma.
Why?
Watch, because they will.
Washington just lost its first game.
Because the committee has already in its mind teams in conferences it doesn't like, no matter what they say when they get out in public.
I think the Pac-12 should get somebody in it. But you know what? You know why I keep Michigan high?
Why?
Because I look at Penn State and I look at Wisconsin, the best 2-loss team in the country. I look at Nebraska. I think that's a tough conference. Let's take a break. Coming up, does Cam Newton look silly for bringing back the dab and then losing?
He looks silly for getting his butt kicked again. And would it make sense for the Dubs to trade Klay Thompson?
See, I think that the Big Ten this year is real good.
It is good.
You were down on them early.
On Saturday, November 19th, the world's best pound-for-pound boxer will be crowned. Sergey Crusher Kovalev, the WBO, WBA, and IBF light heavyweight world champion, and Andre S.O.G. Ward, two-time world champion, will collide for the unified light heavyweight world championship. Their hotly anticipated fight will be only the third bout in the history of the Ring Magazine pound-for-pound list to pit two undefeated top 5 ranked pound-for-pound fighters against each other. Who will be the next pound-for-pound king? Don't miss Kovalev versus Ward, Saturday, November 19th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, live on pay-per-view.
It's mail time, and today, if we read yours on the air, Wilbon will send you a lock of Theo Epstein's hair.
Too late. I framed it already.
Let me see what's
Mail
first.
time?
It's right next to my Ernie Banks jersey. You didn't see it in the office?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Does Cam Newton look silly for bringing back the dab and then losing?
Of course. He looks silliest for losing and throwing that Jay Cutler-like stupid interception pick six. That's what really looks stupid. And the lineman, the defensive lineman on Kansas City, who dabbed after sacking him, it just opened up a can, and it came just flowing back on him like a toilet that backed
There's
up.
the pick right there.
Yeah, look at this.
That's
and
fast.
the
That's in
return.
fast speed, isn't it?
You know, I mean, they're easy to take shots at Carolina because at first it was whining, and now they're just not any good.
At 17-0, because that's what the score was, I thought he could dab. I thought he could put on a variety of hats. You know,
This week
Easter
was
bonnet
great,
if
by
he
the way.
wanted.
Very
I thought he could
stylish
do
hat.
that Superman
He looked
thing.
great.
I thought he could do anything. I thought Carolina had returned from the crypt, and I thought they were going to win their division, and I thought they'd be something in the playoffs. And now I don't.
Playoffs?
They're 3-6. They're dead.
Playoffs?
They're dead.
You got them in the
It's
playoffs?
over. I do not.
No, you don't.
I do not.
So dab away. Just
do
keep
not.
dabbing down there. How should by the way, who would think that the Hornets would be better this year than the Panthers?
I
And
would
they are.
never put them in the same sentence.
They're in the same city. How should Chargers fans feel about same neighborhood? Having Phillip Rivers as their quarterback.
You got to tell me somebody who's better. Let's go through the state of California. I don't want Colin Kaepernick over Phillip Rivers, and I don't want Case Keenum over Phillip Rivers.
That's it, Jake. That's not Jay Cutler.
They did a bad job. It was a pick six.
That's
He had
Phillip Rivers.
4 picks in the fourth quarter. You know what?
In a quarter.
Do you know what he's got all time? He's got more touchdowns than everybody but 7 other quarterbacks all time. He's 11th all time in pass completions.
So in other words,
give me a better guy.
You're just going to give yourself over to stats. You don't care if your
give me
team
a
wins or not.
Do you think he's done?
Done in terms of what? Contending? Yeah.
So you don't want him anymore. You want to get rid of him?
The question is, are you looking to the future and trying to win? Is there pressure to win in San Diego? I don't think there's any particular pressure to win there. Do you?
Not at the moment because they're going to L.A.
So you're just citing stats wherever you go. You're not talking about winning.
I don't think there are 15 better quarterbacks out of 32 than Phillip Rivers. I don't.
Okay.
Is it more likely that the 5-4 Vikings make the playoffs or miss the playoffs?
More likely they make it because Green Bay's fallen and can't get up. Although, by the way, you and Jaws, you had this young man at quarterback being a big upgrade. He's going to be terrific. If he's on the field, he's going to lead the Vikings.
Bradford,
he
yeah.
can't do anything.
But he was 4-0.
He's on the field.
Yeah, I know.
What is he doing? He's throwing. Oh, wait, that's not Jay Cutler either, even though it looked like it.
No.
So what are you talking about? They can still make the playoffs because the teams in their division just aren't. Detroit, you'd have to really bet on Detroit to win the division.
And you're afraid to do that.
I'm afraid to do it, but I might.
I think the Vikings have cratered. I think they're no good.
Who's going to beat them out?
I actually think that Detroit is going to because I like Matthew Stafford a lot this year. The last series against the
you told me
Redskins,
you like that guy.
Sam Bradford went into a shell. He got sacked two plays out of the last 3. No, there weren't any.
Well, you
know
and Jaws
what?
promised.
They weren't
You
any
promised
good.
he was going to be
I didn't
good.
promise.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't promise. I
You
thought
and
he'd be
Jaws,
better. I thought he would be
teammates.
better than this. He wasn't.
Teammates on the
They're no
1968
good. You know what?
Eagles.
They can't run the ball either, just like the
they
Packers.
can't.
Would it make any sense? Why am I reading this? You read
know,
it.
you can read it.
Comes to me.
Make any sense for the Dubs to trade Klay Thompson?
This comes about because your boy Brian Scalabrine was running his
Love
yap
Scal.
the other day.
Love him.
He's an analyst, right, for the Celtics.
Yes, he is.
And he said that somehow, if the Warriors traded Klay Thompson, they would get Avery Bradley, Jay Crowder, and Nerlens Noel, all 131 pounds of him.
Defense.
Yeah, great. He'd
Get
be
some
broken
bench.
into 1,000 pieces.
And a pick.
Let me just say this.
There's a pick
this
for
is
Noel.
stupid. This
Why?
is stupid.
Why?
Why?
You
Because
sure?
here's what we know about Klay Thompson. Okay. He can score and has scored 37 points in a quarter. And the 3 of those people can't do that. It's insanely stupid to trade Klay Thompson.
I wouldn't trade him, but they need defense, they think, or they probably think. And here's a question. Would it be good for Boston? If Klay Thompson is your best player, does that get done what you want to do, which is try to add another banner?
I don't care about Boston. Would it be good for Golden State? No. Would it be good for Golden State? No. Enough email.
Sam Bradford.
Let's take one last break. Sam Bradford doesn't play for Golden State
Sam
or
Bradford.
Boston.
You and your teammates all sold that on this show.
Wilbon's Bears get clowned. Get clowned by Jameis Winston.
Get clowned by everybody. Conor McGregor, who you hate, dominates a Saturday night fight. What'd you make of that?
Did you buy that?
No. Even I didn't buy that.
You didn't buy Kick Fight?
I thought about it.
Hey, college football fans. I'm Ivan Mazel. On the latest Championship Drive podcast, we finally got chaos in college football, and we're here to break it all down for you. Subscribe to us in the Listen tab of your ESPN app.
Happy time, people. Happy 23rd birthday, Francisco Lindor.
He can play.
The Cleveland Indians shortstop, rated by many as the best player on the Indians team. In the postseason, he batted .310 with 2 homers and 6 RBI. If there's no rain delay, maybe it's Lindor holding the MVP award.
Maybe, Tony. Look, I know as a Cub fan, I was scared every time that kid came to the bat. He can do it all, and he's the centerpiece of that team. Looks like
happy anniversary, Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll. On this day 7 years ago, Stanford throttled USC 55-21 in the What's Your Deal game. Harbaugh went right after Carroll when he got to Stanford. He then went right after Carroll when he got to the 49ers. If only Carroll went to coach Ohio State.
But Carroll's gotten the better of Harbaugh. Carroll's got the better resume at this point. He does.
Both very good, though.
Well, great.
Both very good. Happy trails to your Bears pass rush. Jameis Winston, not the fastest horse in the barn, ran around for 11 full seconds
11.75
before launching a 39-yard completion to Mike Evans. Well, on your Bears are not only bad, they didn't appear to be trying that hard.
I want Harbaugh to get enough of Michigan and come home
coach
to the team that drafted him and coached the Chicago Bears. That's got to be his move.
Yeah. No errors today. Let's go to the big finish quickly. Andrew Wiggins scored 47 as the T-Wolves beat the Lakers. Is he turning the corner?
Maybe he had 35 against LeBron last year. Did he turn the corner then? And, keep going. The Rams won for the second time this year without scoring a touchdown. Something to be proud of?
Yeah, they won. Any win is a good win. Nobody expects them to score a lot of points. Baseball Rookies of the Year will be announced tonight. Who do you have?
Corey Seager, Tyler Naquin.
So you don't have Trey Turner from the Nats?
No, Corey Seager. Come on.
Really?
Man. Conor McGregor dominated this fight at the Garden. Big deal.
It's Kick Fight. Yeah, I guess.
Kick Fight?
I guess. Yeah,
really?
Great. No, seriously,
Kick
great.
Fight.
Last one. Bengals at the Giants tonight. Who you got in that game?
I wish I had something else I could watch in that game.
You don't like the Giants?
Not a great matchup. Could be a great game, not a great matchup.
You don't like the NFC East?
I don't like either one of those two teams. I'll take the Giants.
We're out of time. Try and do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
NFC East ain't my thing. That's your thing. I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, Knuckleheads. Check out the PTI podcast on iTunes.
Dr. Jody Forstad in the house. Shout out.
Yeah.
Arthritis doctor for us old people.
You got it.
PTI.
Can I help you?
He can't talk. That's Harry Dog, the Georgia mascot.
Oh, is it Nissan Heisman House time?
Yep, they've got Tim Tebow, Derrick Henry, and other Heisman legends. Head to NissanHeismanHouse.com and enter for a chance to win a 2-night trip with up to 3 guests to the College Football Playoffs championship game in Tampa. The winner will also receive a meet and greet with a former Heisman winner.
Uh-oh. Harry Dog is raiding the fridge.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Must be 18 or older and legal U.S. resident. Ends December 3rd, 2016.
Louisville heads to Houston to face a dangerous Cougar team on Thursday night.
47 yards right up the middle.
Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on ESPN and on ESPN Radio. Presented by Dr. Pepper.